Great. Let's get started then.
Yeah,
Great.
you can come on camera.
Let's get started. First of all, to all the audience who joined in, welcome to Premsai's stream. This is her first live stream on Creator, and of course, nobody will do a better job at introducing all the amazing work and everything that Premsai is working on than herself. But hi guys, hi Prit, hi Prachi, hi Manu, hi Pratik, everybody else who's on the live stream. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about four homes and what it means to renovate them. Like Premsa said, we won't be touching upon each topic in deep, but we will walk away knowing that why these things would be important, and just getting a little bit more information on these topics. I'm sure you're all curious to ask questions, learn more. So without further ado, over to you, Premsai, to introduce yourself to the audience, and we'll take it from there.
Thanks, Shivani, for giving this opportunity. And hi, everybody. Hi, Shivani, Chirag. Even Shivani, I've already said hi. Arpit, Prachi, Bhanu, Pratik. So this is Premsai. My name is Premsai, and I am a focus coach, a clarity and focus coach, and a certified NLP master practitioner. And I have 18 years of experience in this industry, in this training and coaching space. And I help people to lead their life with being productive and being focused, and with success, by helping them to integrate focus in their life. So that's my, you can say, the mission and vision of being a focus coach. And great, I'm feeling great to be talking and connecting with you all. Thank you so much.
Awesome. I think like the first question that maybe I have in the top of my head is, how did you decide to become a focus coach? And I mean, I'm maybe speaking on behalf of half the millennials out there, that today's time we all that में हिंदी में बोलेंगे. So that main the Chaudhary. Premsa, are you comfortable with Hindi? Just asking.
हिंदी में बोलें या
We mix it up. हम हिंदी और इंग्लिश दोनों में बात
दोनों
करेंगे.
करेंगे. यस यस, नो
ठीक है.
प्रॉब्लम एट ऑल.
तो मेरा first question होगा कि on behalf of the millennials, like I would like to ask कि we all really struggle with focus and clarity in our life, in our everyday life, and we all want to always do something about it, but we never really know what or how to begin and things like that. So how did आपका journey, like how did your journey start into becoming a focus coach, and why? What was your turning point जब आपने decide किया कि okay, I want to be a focus coach?
Okay, so the journey, something happened, Shivani. It was very organic, I would say. Those days we were not having coaches, first thing. So हम गिरते पड़ते, having experiences, अनुभव and all that, through that only we understood, and that's how my journey also started. And actually there are few incidents which happened in my life. Long back when I was in my college, that was a time, an incident happened in my life, and I lost my brother actually in an accident. And that really shattered me to such extent that I absolutely was clueless to what to do next, because I was so attached to him. And that's where I'm talking about the emotions part, one of the home, right, which was totally messed up. And I went into depression for 2 years, but then eventually, gradually, when I started observing that home, that emotions part of what is happening in my body, to some extent, not that well, but then to some extent, when I was in my final year of my college, somehow I started gathering myself again, and came out of the depression, right? And I would say, like, that was the time where I was totally not, I was not able to understand what's happening, like how to process my thoughts. All those thoughts were, I was so attached to him that I was not able to even conduct my daily activities. So that is one incident. And then moving forward, like, I started my career as a, working with a few companies, and then after a couple of years, and like with any other girl, got married and went to Delhi, then started working over there. But then, yeah, one more such incident happened. Like, after marriage, what happens, like, I've seen every lady, every woman, every girl, we no doubt we get into new relationships, but at the same time somewhere we miss out that self-care part. So it's about we play the roles of a wife, a sister, a daughter, all that. But then if you do not nurture yourself, how would you wear the hat of playing the role in the best possible way?
Right.
So again, another you can say without not having like not being conscious, I again did a lot of mistakes. You can say not intentionally, but it happened. It was a chain kind of, it started cascading. I didn't take care of my food habits. I didn't take care of my health and thoughts. Again, I was into the same loop, and then I had a disc prolapse. As a consequence, I was in bed for a while, and the doctor said you need to have an like do an operation, and that's how you. Otherwise, you need to think twice whether you continue with this profession of training, because being a trainer we need to stand a lot while we conduct a session. So that was my second incident, which gave me a lot of clarity about how important it is to uh, renovate all these four homes, that is body, mind, emotions, and energy. Because when we start chasing a career, or when we start chasing anything for that matter, at times we ignore some part of it, of these four homes. And when I started again focusing on that, I started exploring other options of recovery, and I did get that. And when I started exploring those options, I got Ayurveda to my rescue, and yoga and all that. So I become a yoga practitioner with a lot of effort and all that, with a consistent practice and discipline that I followed. And I did take care of my all the things that we put in our mouth. We call it as food. So to be conscious eating, and then many things happen, those. So that's how I became a yoga practitioner. So in these two incidents, what taught me is how having clarity is so important, and how taking your consciousness to these four homes are so important. It's like something like you go to a movie, and you start watching that movie, and you start from the starting till the end. So the director shows you all the movie, taking care with all, like will take you through the all the emotions, the fighting scenes, the emotions, the love story, and everything. And then you come out, and then again you become conscious about your existence. So what we did is we gave the flashlight to the director for that couple of 3 hours, for that matter. And then when you come back again, you're conscious about, okay, movie khatam ho gaya abhi. So
Correct.
as a coach, what I do with my client is to integrate that consciousness, and a conscious focus, so that you are all by yourself throughout your life. So that's what is all about. And these two incidents, when I look back now, and I got to understand a lot with my experience, then I couldn't kind of, मैं अपने आप को रोक नहीं पाई, you can say. I couldn't stop myself then helping people to talk about those consciousness, and to talk about body, mind, emotions, energy. So unconsciously also I was talking about all this. And then in this journey I became conscious about that. This is the best thing. I would love to be in this space, becoming a coach and helping people to integrate conscious focus in their life. That's how the name came, Renovate All Four Homes. So
Nice.
दिवाली की वेट करने की जरूरत नहीं है कि दिवाली की सफाई. It's all about ना on a daily basis how we integrate that consciousness, so that we don't miss anything that is maybe that part of that home would be demanding or maybe requiring your attention. तो हम attention देते हैं क्या? तो कभी कभी कुछ issues होता है, जैसे depression, anxiety, ये सारी चीज, overwhelming situations, all that comes from the mind. When you have some issues in your body, then are we aware of that? Because that's how I was in that space of disc prolapse, and was like I landed up being a bedridden person for a couple of months. क्योंकि it didn't happen just in one day or in 1 month. It might have started, but I didn't notice.
Right.
So that's where conscious focus comes into picture.
Right. Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing this entire journey. It's awesome that you're so passionate about it, and you're such an intrinsic motivation to help people with it because you've gone through this and understand all of it. To the audience who's on the live stream, please feel free to drop your questions on the chat box where we'll answer the questions as we go. Feel free to do that. So Premsai, we spoke a little bit. You touched upon like the body part, and you talked about emotions. I would love to ask you, how, according to you, are these four houses, connected? Because usually, how we approach it is, okay, right now I need to lose weight, I have to take care of my body. But then, in the process, we might not realize that the other three houses, homes, as you said, might be, getting affected or things like that. So how do you take this wholesome approach, and how do these homes affect each other in our everyday life? And yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so I'll take your nice example because I see a lot of youngsters, I think, joining here, or maybe people around. So we all are, I think, we eat and we are fond of eating. We all would be having some favorite dishes of ours. So maybe after 1 hour or 45 minutes or so, you'll be having your dinner. If I start narrating about your favorite dish, for example, say something about maybe a biryani, or could be a ice cream, or could be a pani puri. I think that's the most popular and famous one. So if I start talking about it in detail about the taste and everything, so I'm sure everybody would relate to this, that the moment you start thinking about it, you start getting saliva in your mouth, and then after that the feeling or the urge starts, that okay, I want it right now, I want it right now. And then you forget about everything, you just go and grab that whatever that you're craving for. So that's how a thought, and then it creates a feeling, and then it creates an emotion. So that's how the mind has your thought, the narrative that you tell to yourself. It really impacts your body because it is connected. And then with this two jugalbandi, I would say, it's a jugalbandi, because from there the emotions will emerge, and from that emotions, to the extent you get identified with that, I mean, it depends. See, एक सबके साथ होता है, but then the way you respond to it, that's the difference. And again, I'm talking about consciousness about that feeling. So if you ask any maybe a person who is a chain smoker, for example, like one client I had who wanted to quit smoking. So the urge of going to that place and have that, get into that space of smoking, that urge will always be there, because we are some way or the other, कहीं ना कहीं हम किसी ना किसी craving or something से attached हो ही जाते हैं in life.
Right.
But when you are conscious about it, the flashlight is right in your hand, किसी और के हाथ में नहीं है. So when you are conscious about it, then you will know, and you will respond to that particular situations. And then the behavior, you will definitely, according to the emotions or according to the understanding of the emotions, you will respond to the outcome of that particular situations, whatever it is. Pani puri hai, to you will immediately go and have it. Ice cream hai, to you will immediately go and have it. Or any, maybe a Netflix or a scrolling of social media,
Right.
the most addicted thing as of now during this COVID time, people are into that. So that's how the mind, the body, emotions, and then we decide to put our energy in that particular action. So that's how all four is connected with each other. And if we just a minute, if we do not understand and being conscious about it, then you get carried away with that. You get carried away with that particular behavior. So that's how the that drives you, and then you fall into the prey of being addicted. And then you talk about फिर language ऐसे आती है can't help. This happens, I'm so addicted to this. And because when it started, you were not conscious about it. You allowed it to that extent. Now it is overpowering your decisions. So I would say focus is not about doing something. Focus is about a result of a MCQ. Now, what is MCQ? It is a multi-choice question. So each moment, हमारे पास शिवानी क्या होते हैं ना, each moment कुछ ना कुछ हमारे पास options होते हैं
Right.
करने को, खाने को, जाने को, टीवी देखने को, we have options. So now it is 7:15, 16 है, तो इस moment में भी options हैं. But then what is that one option that we are taking in, and what are the other elimination, saying no to the other options, and how committed we are to that one thing and saying no. So it's not about saying no कि नहीं करना है. You are scheduling it for later time, not now.
Okay.
So it is a consequence of a multi-choice question that life is giving you minute to minute or moment to moment. And when you are very sure about what is my priority at this point of time, which would place me well and I can serve or be productive, or it would be a well-being for yourself and for the ecology that you are into. So when you know that, okay, these are the 10 options है, इसमें से ये 5th वाला options है which I need to focus on, rest all I'll see if I can take care of later, or you can schedule and prioritize it.
Yeah.
That's all is about focus, a consequence of your decision making process during that time where life is giving you options.
Yes, absolutely. That makes sense. You really beautifully explained with the entire example as to how in everyday life all these 4 homes are affected. Awesome. We have a question from Prateek which says, any practices to be more mindful in your day, which probably means, like you said, we have these choices every day. How do we be more conscious, mindful, not get carried away? Okay, maybe people around us are saying this is actually probably easier right now to, just light a cigarette and smoke. How do we be mindful in these situations, and maybe like 2 practices that we can instantly start so that we start feeling that we are being more mindful and in the longer run. Yeah.
Okay, so Pratik, as your question says that any practices to be more mindful in your day. Okay, so in your day or my day, to be very clear. Okay, in your day. So it's always important that, see, the reality is, now take this as an example. I and Shivani, we are into a conversation in this creator live stream. What would really happen if we start thinking about our past, maybe what I did at 6 o'clock, or could be what would happen tomorrow? So in mind, we are going to those places. Not physically, it is not possible at all. That's the reason present.
Thank God it's not physically possible, right? We'll be all over.
Yes, yeah. But then we keep going, right? In our mind, we keep going to that place, we keep moving forward and thinking about ki, "Arey, ye hoga, kal kya hoga," and all that. So when you are right here and focusing on the thing that is the task at hand, at the right, right in front of you, I would say. Whatever you're doing, suppose you're sipping your tea, or you are listening to this stream, this live, and everything. So when whatever you are doing at that point of time, if you are just into that moment, you can prioritize things and tasks that is so important. But being there for that particular task, that is the best way to be mindful. So what I learned in my Vipassana journey is, the best anchor that is there right in our body is our breathing. So whenever you feel that your mind is wandering, in mind एक बच्चे जैसा है, wander तो करेगा ही. You might have seen and observed a toddler. क्या करता है वो toddler? If you just have seen, from a distance, the toddler goes there and touches something, फिर वहां से उठ के जाएगा, फिर touch something else, or look at something and or maybe cry and then again smile and all that. So mind is also like that. And mind will wander. We should not focus on that. There will be no thoughts in our mind. Uska kaam hi hai thinking karna. But are you aware about it? And the moment you become aware about it, okay, now I should be focusing on this conversation. The moment my mind is wandering, I will focus in my breathing and bring back to that. As if the toddler is going and touching to a dangerous place where the electricity is there. So अब क्या करता है? बच्चे को फिर से लाके normal एक अच्छे से जगह पे safely place कर देते हो. So mind is like that only. So when you do that very often, if people like those people who are doing yoga or going to gym or any sort of exercises they are doing, what happens? Eventually your muscle start building up. So similarly, on a daily basis, if you are mindful of whatever you are doing, ब्रश कर रहे हो तो उसके बारे में ही सोचो कि ब्रश कर रही हूँ.
Yeah.
And then after that, so, and it will not happen not in one day. वो बार बार toddler है ना, बच्चा है, it will go here and there, but you bring back, okay, again coming back. So in 1 hour of time you will wander maybe 1,000 times, but eventually if you do it on a daily basis, you will start having, you will start getting results where your mind will wander after a certain point of time. Maybe in 5 minutes it will wander, and the distance with, the space will increase, and you
Right.
will see eventually you will develop a laser focus. And
Right.
there are a lot of NLP tools and techniques where, like when I work with my clients, there are tools and techniques we offer them. And from there, they take that tool and they use it. And if you talk about body, mind, emotions, and energy, if you see, our mind is a wonderful tool. Unless and until you make the mind as a servant, not allow the mind to be a master of yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that can be done on a daily basis. Whatever Pratik you do, just be mindful of doing it. And mindful hote hote nahi hoga, and that's okay. Except, and the moment you get, imagine करो कि वो बच्चा फिर कोई इलेक्ट्रिक वायर में जाके फिर छू रहा है. Okay, come on, no problem, come and sit here. So you can again bring back your mind. So when you do it very often, you will see, eventually you will develop a mindfulness practice in whatever you are doing.
Wow. Yeah, that makes sense. So you spoke a lot about focus, Premsai, and I feel like this definition of the word focus itself is, we probably learned it in when we were studying as students, right? हमें बोला जाता था, focus on your studies, focus on your studies. And now that's obviously not relevant anymore, because now there's not one thing we need to focus on in our life, right? There's so many things, and how would you define the word focus in today's time? What does it look like to be focused? And just like would love to understand what focus. How would you define the word focus as? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not simple
So
anymore according to me. So
हाँ.
yeah.
So focus actually बोला तो बहुत लोगों ने है कि पढ़ाई करो, फोकस करो.
Hmm.
करते कैसे हैं किसी को नहीं पता.
Correct.
डूइंग पार्ट नहीं पता कि फोकस करो. अच्छा, ओके, सो मम्मी पापा ने बोला फोकस करो. करते कैसा है? So I give an example of that movie theater, right?
Right.
And right now, for example, I would ask everybody who is listening to this live stream that when is the last time you attended a party, or maybe you went to a vacation, your favorite vacation trip? Okay. And then if I ask you to close your eyes and start thinking about that vacation, okay? करते हैं ये एक exercise right now. Think
Let's do
about
it.
that vacation,
Guys,
okay?
so whoever's in the
Yeah.
chat, drop a text. Where did you last go on a vacation?
हाँ.
Because of COVID, it must have been some weeks, some months,
Right,
some
right.
years. When was the last time you went on a vacation? It'll be good to get in touch with that part of ourselves. जब we-
Feeling and emotions, yeah. So okay, so my next, so I'll be asking questions. You start, you think about it. No need to write, or no need to talk about it. You just think about कि last time कब गए थे अच्छे से vacation पे, and how did you plan? Budget planning था या महंगा हो गया? Okay, and then could be how many people were there, and then what is the first thing when you landed up there? कैसे गए थे? गाड़ी में गए थे, and or maybe a flight में, and then what was the best part of that vacation? First day पे क्या खाया था? So when I'm asking this question, what is happening? Those movies are playing, the scenes will be coming to your picture one by one, one by one. So what am I doing is, you have allowed me for a while, and you have given your flashlight to me. Now I am focusing that flashlight to that.
you want me to focus on?
Yeah, to all of you who are listening. And when I am asking you to think about that incident, and you are thinking, so you are not thinking on your own. I am making you think, or making you imagine to those the vacations or the moment that you have already जी चुके हो उसको. So this is what I am making you created awareness to those places where you have been already went through that vacation. So when I again ask you to come back to the present moment and again start listening to this live, so what I did is, you allowed me to to use your awareness, and I did take you to those places where this incident has already happened, and you again went through those things, the vacation, the budget, and all the questions that I have asked, and then again you came back. This is
Right.
the only thing that you need to do for yourself.
Right.
So it's like you're entering to a dark room, and जहाँ पे आप light मारोगे, whenever you flash the light to that particular corner is like you would see that particular corner, what is there. So you imagine that you are in a dark room and you went and you have a flashlight. The moment you just put the flashlight to one of the wall, that wall becomes a reality for you, right? Similarly, when you reflect, and that's how to develop focus. This is the thing that you have to be conscious. You should take your awareness to these areas: the body, the mind, emotions, and energy. Each are homes, because these are the things which will always stay there till we live and travel on this earth, isn't it? Yeah. So we need to be aware about, self-aware about, and conscious about, okay, which home needs more attention these days? Am I more into my emotions and energy, ignoring my body? Am I living only in my mind and ignoring all the three? There are many people who live in their mind only.
Right.
They're in the fantasy world. ये होगा, वो होगा, वो होगा, उसके बाद होगा, नहीं नहीं मुझे नहीं करना, and then based on that they decide. So to the extent your self-awareness is strong and you're conscious about, the more you're conscious about, the more you will be aware about and manage and take care of all these four homes.
Right.
सोच लीजिए कि ये जो, it's like a car and these are the four tires. You want to have a joyful ride, then you have to take care of all four.
Right.
पहला दो आगे जाएगा, पीछे वाला दो, if it is not working, then how far can you go?
Right.
The tire will definitely speak, and एक तो गुहार लगाएगा ही कि come on, it's been so many days, you have not taken care of me. It could be emotions, it could be mind, it could be body, and that's what happened with me as well. And I'm sure people would also relate to it. If I ask you, these days, what is that? Which home do you think needs more attention?
Yeah.
No need to give the answer. You think for yourself. The moment I ask you a question, you will, yeah. So you will open up the perspective. You will start thinking about it, and that's, as a coach, that's my role of creating that self-awareness, helping you to become conscious about to renovate. Why renovation? Because घर को renovate कर लेते हैं यार, ये चार चीज तो बहुत जरूरी है. Because we see, okay, यहाँ पे this wall will look very good if we put this painting. So we renovate every year we renovate our homes, like our houses, I would say. So
Right.
these four are the mandate, because your life, the quality of your life depends on these four. The success depends on these four. The productivity, you want to prosper and manifest your dreams, your whatever that your desired life that you want to live. If these four are not at par, if these four are not aligned, then you will be standing as an obstruction for your own self.
Right. Right. That makes a lot of sense. Thanks for sharing more about focus itself. We have a question from Chirag that we should definitely take up. How do you deal with grief, and what practices can I do to get out of grieving stage? So how would you associate this with consciousness that you were talking about? Yeah.
Okay, so moving to, see, Chirag, this is a question which is quite deep, and I don't know to what extent I can answer this in detail. Definitely, it needs a lot of other information as well. But then immediately, if you talk about, if I would ask you a question, Chirag, did you directly, shifted to grief state? I don't think so. You might have gone through some unresourceful thoughts first, then you might have gone through a little sadness, then you might have gone through a little, maybe a frustration or depression. And then after a lot of stages, then you might have landed to this grief. Okay, so again, to come back, you also need a lot of observation about yourself. Where exactly, what are the trigger points that is literally pushing you to that state of grief? Just say, for example, when I say trigger points, the moment I see that this particular glass is there, I freak out. So if you just observe that, what is that one or two stuff or thing, or an incident or a person or a thing that triggers you. So you have to be very observant about that trigger, and then when you know the trigger, then you in the process, you also at times become, use that intelligence, that if you change the trigger, the outcome would be different. Because grief, it takes a lot of continuous session to address in the right way. So I think I somehow gave you an answer about to be conscious about what is happening and from where it is starting in your body, how it is it moving and all that. Be conscious about these things that is happening in your body, and then what happens to the emotions. Be conscious about it, so that you will know that which is the main area where you need to work upon, so that it would impact the other three areas as well. Okay.
That makes sense. Chirag, if you're still here, do feel free to drop your thoughts or like any other follow-up question that you may have for Premsai. Awesome. Great, Premsai. This has been so insightful. I definitely leave you. Would love to ask you like another question, which Chirag says thanks. But that actually, what you said, Premsai, was really interesting because. Intuitively, when I reached the same conclusion, right? Like when I was not going through a very great time, I started understanding that what is it that's upsetting me and start avoiding that. It's very obvious to a person who's decided to get out of it, but till you're there, it's not so obvious. Where it intellectually makes sense, but you don't see it, and even and yeah.
It's like YouTube पे मैंने देखा और swimming सीख ली. So sometimes what happens, we understand. So like Shivani, if I talk about, who doesn't know that it is good to eat healthy, who doesn't know that it is good to exercise? We all know it, right? At the mind level, we know it. But then what is stopping us to live that life?
Right, absolutely.
So
Which brings me to the question: Why do you think that we can't focus? Like, what do you think we can't focus? Why can't we focus? For example, some of the obvious answers people say is right, social media. Acha, get off social media. But then I have gotten off social media, but maybe to some extent, it has helped me. But like that, it's not as simple as ये कर लो वो कर लो. It's not as simple. We have to understand a little bit more things about why are we not able to focus, what really internally needs to change. So what are your thoughts on like why are we not able to focus and how do we change that? Like intrinsically, how do we change that? Because usually social media or anywhere, people give you advice like अच्छा ठीक है social media delete कर दो, अच्छा ठीक है start doing this, start doing that. But like what is the internal reason we're doing all of this in the first place? Like that's so important to understand.
why can't we focus? The reason is, as in the discussion I answered this, that life gives options each and every moment, right? And us moment mein, what is the most important thing, that one thing that I need to focus on?
Right.
It's okay to, and you gave an example, Shivani, that it has helped you a lot. Now let me tell you, if a person is a digital marketer, then social media is a work for that particular person. So
Yeah.
what is the purpose behind that particular reason of being on social media, or your favorite Twitter? I still remember I was conducting a session, and one guy said that I stay in like I stay in Twitter for 6 to 7 hours, and I can't help it. हो जाता है. So it definitely might not have happened in a day.
Yeah.
You have allowed it to happen. So पहला 30 minutes एक दिन का, next day 40 minutes, उसके बाद 1 घंटा. So you have tuned your body, आपने सिखाया है अपने बॉडी को ऐसे करने का. So you were the tutor, or you can say you were the teacher to, and जैसे सिखाया है, that means it is a possibility. तो दूसरी चीज भी आप सिखा ही सकते हो, how to come out of it.
Right.
Yeah. So the kind of narrative, the language that we speak, as in NLP, we call it as neuro-linguistic programming. So the language that we speak, it becomes kind of a tathastu to our cells. Tathastu bolte na, aapki ichha puri ho. So our cells are also listening. When you say that I'm so addicted, I can't. When you're saying I can't, your cells are also listening and they say tathastu. So
can't.
so be it. So be it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have to first willingly, focus again, conscious focus on your languages, like what kind of language that you're speaking, because that becomes your reality.
So how would you rephrase, if somebody says, I can't, I have to smoke every day.
Mhm.
What would you tell them as an actionable item, that instead of saying I have to smoke, what should you say?
Okay, so this can be dealt with in 2-3 ways. One is like coaching them, like, and then when you are smoking, so what is that thing that you're saying no to? Because kabhi kabhi smoking, when you're saying yes to something, you're saying no to 5 more things.
Right.
So
Could be like money. It's money sometimes. It's a risk, health insurance. You're saying no to so many other things. Hmm.
So there are many factors and there are many reasons to it. So we need to find out that from which space the behavior is being derived, and based on that space we create a language pattern, or maybe we see in the coaching process the individual itself that person itself, himself or herself creates a language pattern for him,
Okay,
in the
interesting.
process.
I didn't know this. Okay.
So because see, we all are unique individuals, right? And the protocol or the process that helps you may not work for me.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I should be creating my own customized strategy. Like for me, doing an yoga from disc prolapse and not able to bend from the waist and not able to sit in the floor and not able to stand erect, from there becoming a yoga practitioner, I still remember my first day of my yoga practice. And I still remember how painful it was. So when you say that, okay, I can't do it, then I just reframe my sentence, let me see and explore the possibilities of teaching my body a few exercises.
Right.
So you are creating possibilities with your language pattern, and that becomes your tathastu. So be it. And your cells will, because each cells of our body, the trillion cells that we are built up with, it has their own intelligence. So for smoking also, let me see what strategy can I figure it out so that I become healthy, or I lead a smoke free life,
Right.
right?
That's interesting, because if there was such a simple answer, ki, what should I start telling myself that I quit smoking today, then everybody would quit smoking, right? It's not that simple. We have to spend time. We have to find out what works for us, what doesn't work for us, and find that unique answer. I love that. I love that.
And Shivani, you said that have to, you might have seen this particular language pattern with many people, those who are into exercise and all. I have to exercise. So
Right.
there are a lot of difference of, I have to and I'm willing to.
Correct. Yeah. The have to can also apply for good things, right? Like I have to sleep by 10 a.m.
Have to is a compulsion.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. I love that. Great. Thanks so much for sharing. Rinsa, I know that you have your own program and the coaching program as well, which I 100% would, encourage you to share with people who joined in on Creator as well. I feel like a lot of people are listening, but they're not typing their questions. But I'm sure, like the ones who said hi in the beginning, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to do so before we end the stream. But otherwise, Prinsa, like, please do tell us about your the focus factor, the F factor program, and how people could get in touch with you, and how we could learn more about it from you or from any other collaborator.
Yeah. So apart from conducting a lot of leadership workshops with this corporate, with corporates, and I also have my focus mastery program. And I conduct a lot of one-day sessions, which is basically most on, on weekends itself, where I help people to integrate focus in their life so that they lead their life with productivity, purpose, and being successful in their life. And the process happens quite deep using NLP tools and techniques. And for that, actually, we have created a very empowering community, which is like a couple of months back only created, where I invite people, to those who are interested and willing. Very important word is willing, so that they did not say that I have to. So when you create that willingness, then everything fall into place. You will be able to, in the process, you will be able to integrate focus. And I keep live, coming live to those group also. And I post a lot of tips and tools for integrating focus in the daily life. I'm sure that can be a lighthouse to conduct yourself on a daily life, on a, on a daily basis, whatever you do. So this group is called the F Factor Community Group in Facebook, and I'm sharing the link. So I invite people, those who really, really interested and think that their life is significant and important, because you are only one. If I talk about Prachi, is the only one unique Prachi in the whole world. If you say Bhanu, only one person in the whole world. So whoever is listening this life, you see, feel that my life is significant. The moment you feel that I am significant, the whole picture changes, the outcome would change, right? That means you are taking that consciousness, the flashlight is in your hand. No doubt at times we give the flashlight to mentors, to coaches, so that they show you the right thing, but not always to all the person, right? So I invite all of you to, to this Facebook group community, which is F Factor. And this group would give you a lot of insight and perspective. I believe in enhancing the perception. That's how my company is Enhance LifeSkill. So when you enhance your perspective, you see better view. तो सोचो कि आप 7th floor पे हो, जो व्यू दिखेगा, आप 9th floor पे हो, जो व्यू दिखेगा, 15th floor पे हो, जो व्यू दिखेगा, you will see the outcome that you get, and the response, or the decision that you would act or respond to will be different if you are standing in the 7th floor or 9th floor or 12th floor. So jitna अच्छे से आप, you can just have the view and observation skills and everything, you will be able to conduct the life without less friction, with less friction. Because life will give you lemonades all the time, but then उसमें से क्या क्या drink up बना सकते हो, that's the art of being conscious, integrating conscious focus and renovating all 4 homes. Because ये चारों को लेके ही you can enjoy the ride, the joy ride or the life ride. जैसे कि national highway पे चल रहा है, so गली में आ जाता है तो पता चलता है रोड खराब है. So if you want to really enjoy that मक्खन वाला frictionless or less friction wala life, then consciousness and being self-aware is the only way where you can integrate that conscious focus and renovate all 4 homes. Because हम 10 साल के बाद बॉडी को देखेंगे, फिर इमोशंस को देखेंगे, तो by that time, like Chirag says, grief, so it has gone through a lot of layers now.
Yeah.
So it will take a little more time to even cater to that. So that's how it's all about. So this, I'm sharing this link here.
It's there. It's on the chat.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, I've sent it. Great. This is awesome. Thanks so much for sharing this with us. I've sent a request to join the group already. And,
thank you so much. And yeah, this particular, live sessions, as Shivani and we were discussing earlier also, one more thing I would like to add here is, every Thursday I'm going to come live we'll pick one topic, because this was a general one. So now from next week onwards, we'll pick one topic from related to, a home, from body, mind or emotions, or maybe energy. And then we'll talk about it in detail. So it would have addiction on social media, could be phone, could be food, or could be anything. So I would request people, those who are listening, please put it in the chat box. What are the areas that you would love to or would need some insights, so that we can bring out those topics to you every Thursday 7 to 8 when we meet.
Absolutely. And I myself am extremely excited, looking forward to the energy session, especially because this is so unique and so big, right? Because how do it's so intangible rather. So it's definitely going to be an interesting one.
One thing here in energy when you spoke about it, because I'm very curious to add one sentence here, कि that restlessness that happens, right? It's all about कि हम उस energy को channelize करना नहीं जानते. We don't know how to, because you cannot store energy. It's not, we have learned it, right? Physics के book में था, energy cannot be created, you know, it just move
Destroyed.
from one, हाँ. So तो वो वैसे ही है. So energy को channelize करना is like without consciousness you will not be able to channelize that energy. वही energy will bother you like anything. मतलब पैसा होगा but पैसे को investment की तरह से we cannot use it. It will rather make our life more worse. Similarly, energy without consciousness,
Right.
that same energies will backfire us if
Yep.
we are not conscious or self-aware about how to focus and use that energy in a appropriate way, which is working for you. As I said, we all are unique.
Absolutely. Makes sense. Prateek says that, of course, Chirag says, insightful session. We'll check out the group. Prateek says, interesting session, learn new things. Me too. And Prateek also says something around mindfulness will be nice. I feel like this has come up a couple of times. We should definitely, explore these in the next session. Premsai and Prachi says inner dialogues and how to improve them. Really
We have
interesting.
one session on that, Prachi. Yeah, keep watching.
Actually, you should definitely, I think there's a follow button for Premsai right below. You can follow her, and then whenever Premsai goes live on Creator, you'll get a notification, and definitely we'll be covering these topics there. Superb. Thanks so much for your time, Premsai. I really enjoyed the session myself. I love the torchlight reference, especially, right? Because I'm going to walk away with this because a lot of time, we are surrounded with slightly negative people who force you to think about areas that you have lived in the past but don't want to think about. And maybe they don't want to do that, but again, unconsciously or subconsciously, as people say, you end up going back there and dwelling, which is lowering our frequency, right? So I'm going to be really, really, that's one very big takeaway for me, where I'm going to stop people from, pointing their torchlight at me and not like give them that.
Best way, Shivani, is ask a question to yourself, everybody. Like, even I also do the same thing. It's not that when I'm becoming a focus coach means that I'm not, my mind doesn't wander. Yeah, it does wander, but I become conscious about it. So just asking one question like, torchlight kiske haath mein hai? The best thing to ask is, and then see, for example, now you have allowed me so that I can show something insightful, and so giving torchlight to a doctor or maybe to a
Mentor, like you said, yeah.
mentors and coach, at times it is good, because when you can't see something great about yourself, then that mentor and coach helps you to do so. Recently, I don't know how many of you have watched this movie, 𝒊𝒐𝒏𝒕'𝒔. If you see that part where the coach ने उसको उनको बताया कि you are good in spinning the ball, he was not getting convinced, and he didn't do also for a couple of months, and he faced the consequences. And then he met with an accident. फिर एक time ऐसा आया कि दौड़ नहीं पा रहा था, but he got a chance to play. So that time, because he was not able to run, he use the technique. अरे बहुत साल पहले कोच ने बताया था कि spinning, and then he did wonder, and then he realized that how at times mentor and coach helps you to give those insight, so that you access those part which is like iceberg में जैसे नीचे होता है ना कुछ चीजें, you are not aware of those what do you say, you can say the secret recipes of your own to become more of what you are thinking today you are. So at times coach and mentors helps you to ना देखो, you are all that you need. You already have that in you. You have to just it is in the dormant state. तो सीड को ऐसे ही छोड़ देंगे तो वो तो सीड जैसे ही रह जाएगा. The moment you plant it and then the water it and nurture it and sunlight पड़ा कि नहीं, then there is no looking back. You will become of what you are, and that's how in the process you will renovate all four homes: body, mind, emotions, and energy.
Love that. Love that. Great session. Thanks so much for your time again, Premsai. Thanks for this live stream. I really enjoyed it. Thanks again to all of the folks who joined in. The Facebook
Thank you so much, Shivani.
the Facebook link for the group is here. I'm going to reshare it. Please, guys, do check it out. Let's support Premsai, the amazing work she's doing. And yeah, Premsai, see you on Creator next week.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys, and it was lovely meeting you all. I mean, through chat itself, but then the moment as I said, no, the energies are getting exchanged here. So how beautiful it is. So thank you so much, Chirag and Pratik and Prachi, and I have taken all those, things that you are looking for, inner dialogues and all those, what else, mindfulness. I'm definitely, I'll come up with those sessions as well in our, coming weeks. And stay tuned next Thursday with a really new and very interesting topic. And then, the next session will be more focused on that particular discussion, what are the things that we can do about it. So thanks so much, Shivani, and thanks
Bye.
everybody.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Good night.
Bye bye.